Exposed, twin girls say, "We were bad," but K9's incredible love reveals a life-changing truth. In the heart of a struggling Midwest town, where the perpetual scent of fried food and the moan of old factory machines filled the air, twin sisters Lily and Rose were dubbed the bad kids. Their lives were shadowed by their mother's addiction and their father's absence, a ghost haunting their footsteps. They sneaked through the halls of their school, heads down, navigating a maze of judgment and whispers that followed them like shadows. Every hard glance from their classmates cut deep, leaving them feeling isolated in their own skin, but all of that changed the day they met Max. He was a retired K9 officer, left behind at the shelter because of his age. The first time Lily laid eyes on him, she saw a glimmer of loyalty hidden beneath the layers of neglect. Rose bent down and wrapped her fingers in his fur, and within moments, the bond was formed. Max stirred something within them, a feeling they hadn't felt for a long time. Hope. Days turned into weeks, and they moved through each afternoon taking long walks in the park, the soft grass beneath their feet feeling like freedom. Max became their sanctuary. Each wag of his tail and joyful bark whispered to them that they were worthy of love. They poured their hearts into rehabilitating him, teaching him new tricks, and finding joy in small victories. For the first time, their laughter rang loud, drowning out the heavy silence their lives had become, yet, the shadows of their past loomed large. One fateful night shattered their newfound peace. A local store was vandalized, and the town buzzed with anger and suspicion. Whispers began to swirl, darkening the air around them like storm clouds. Fingers pointed their way as teachers, neighbors, and classmates filled the streets with disdain. It wasn't just about the vandalism, it felt personal, rooted in the town's history with their family. The old scars reopened, sharper and raw.in the days that followed, the clarification they sought became a boundary between them and the world. They fought to clear their names, but every confrontation felt like a heavy weight on their chests. They were trapped in a cycle of judgment, and their fragile bond began to strain. Doubt wrapped around their hearts, and Rose found herself questioning if love could truly conquer the stigma of a name. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Amid a heated community meeting, where accusations flew like arrows, Lily felt a surge of courage rise within her. She thought of her mother's stories about resilience, of standing tall even when the world wanted to push you down. With tears in her eyes, she stood up, trembling yet steadfast. Her voice broke through the anger, urging the crowd to see beyond the labels. But just as it felt like they could finally make an impact, a figure stepped through the door. Time froze. Would this be the moment they'd been waiting for, or would it send them deeper into despair? Hope mingled with fear, leaving the room at a standstill as they waited for the truth to unveil itself. The figure stepping through the doorway was unmistakable. It was Mr. Thompson, the town's former sheriff. Tall and broad, he left a lasting impression on everyone, a mix of command and warmth that could calm the wildest storms. But it was his grave expression that sent chills down Lily's spine. In that moment, she knew this was no ordinary return. The room hushed, every eye locked onto him. Tension hung like thick smoke, and Lily's heart raced as she wondered how he would weigh in on their fate. Would he side with the crowd that painted them in shadows, or would he see the light they were desperately trying to shine through? "Folks, calm down," he began, his voice steady yet urgent. "I know there are strong feelings about what has happened in our community. But we need to approach this with clear minds, not anger or suspicion." Every word felt like a life raft tossed into turbulent waters. Lily and Rose exchanged a glance filled with unspoken hope and fear. Would he recognize the truth? Could he mend the rift that had been thrust between them and their community? "Before we go any further," he continued, pulling out a stack of papers. "I have something to share. I've received reports about the vandalism and it leads me to believe that we need to look for the real culprits before casting blame on anyone." The murmurs rippled through the room. People leaned forward, curiosity piqued amid their anger. Lily's breath held at the edge of her lips as Mr. Thompson clarified, "I have eyewitness accounts that put 2 other boys by the scene of the crime. They've been bullying kids, and it appears they were trying to pin it on you. It's time to pull back on the judgment and look carefully at the facts." Lily felt warmth flood her cheeks, doubt still perched on Rose's brow. Would the community listen, or would they just cling to hatred? The question gnawed at them both, a reminder of their fragile standing. As he continued with the details, discussing how to approach their case with fairness, a flicker of hope ignited in the sisters. Perhaps they were on the cusp of redemption. Lily found herself glancing at Max, now resting at their feet, his steady breathing a reminder that love could survive even the harshest storms, but just then, a voice shattered the rising hope. A classmate from across the room stood up, her arms crossed defiantly, eyes glimmering with mistrust. "That doesn't mean they didn't do it. Everyone knows their family's history." Lily's heart sunk again. Would this trap tighten around them one more time? Frustration bubbled within her. She wanted to scream, to tell everyone the truth of their lives, the battle, the struggle, the love they held. Everything they had fought for since finding Max. But would anyone listen? With her courage at stake, she took a deep breath, glancing at Rose, who nodded fiercely. "Just give us a chance," she said at last, her voice rising above the murmur. "We're not our past. We're trying to be better." The eyes in the room shifted, uncertainty mingling with the old animosity. And for a fleeting moment, Lily sensed a crack in their world of judgment, but the question lingered, would the townspeople give them that chance? Or would they cling to bitterness and fear, sealing the twins back into their dark past? As the meeting continued, the tension built, with more questions than answers. But Lily felt a pulse of determination ignite within her. This could be the moment that forged a new path, one not defined by their history but by their will to rise above it. Suddenly, just as she felt hope slipping back into the shadows of doubt, a loud crash echoed from outside, startling everyone. The attention shifted to the windows, and gasps filled the air. The community hall had just become the center of chaos once again. What would happen next? Would it alter everything, or was this chaos just another chance to reclaim their narrative? As the crash reverberated through the community hall, a shiver ran down Lily's spine. She instinctively moved closer to Rose, their fingers interlocked, both trying to find strength in each other. Everyone turned toward the windows, eyes wide with shock. Outside, chaos erupted. A group of teenagers, unmistakably the same boys Mr. Thompson had mentioned, were gathered around a crumpled sign painted with disdainful messages directed at the twins. The remaining bits of the sign had clearly been ripped from a nearby tree, littering the ground like half-eaten words still screaming for attention. "Look at them!" someone yelled from the back of the room. "Just like their family." Lily's heart sank. It felt as though the very air had been sucked from her lungs. Hadn't they just been offered a glimmer of hope? How quickly things could spiral back into darkness. Mr. Thompson shifted his weight, a fierce determination replacing the calm resolve he'd shown moments before. "Enough!" he boomed, silencing the crowd. He moved towards the front door, intent on confronting the chaos. "These actions won't be tolerated. This community needs healing, not division. You're acting like a mob, not a family." As he stepped outside, the tension inside the hall grew thicker. Lily could feel her pulse racing, each thump echoing in her ears as she and Rose faced the anxious crowd. Waves of anger and fear rolled through the room like a storm, and she feared that storm would swallow her whole. "I won't let them destroy us," Lily suddenly declared, her voice surprising even herself. "We didn't choose our past, but we can choose what we do with it now. We've been through so much and look where we are. We fought for Max, it's time we fight for ourselves." Those words hung in the air, heavy yet charged with potential. A few heads nodded slowly, caught off guard by her fierceness. The crowd's demeanor shifted just slightly, doubt creeping in, a crack forming in their shared anger. Rose gazed sharply at her sister, pride swelling mixed with apprehension. "You're right," she echoed, her voice breaking through the tension. "This isn't just about us anymore. It's about our family. It's about showing everyone what love really looks like. Max is what love looks like." Someone from the back shouted, "But are you saying you were bad? What does that mean for you now?" Lily pressed her lips together, fighting against the tide of fear. "We made mistakes, but we're trying to change. Just like anyone else. You know us, you know we're fighting to do better. That should count for something." Their words hung, teetering on the edge of acceptance or rejection. Just then, a deafening crash emerged again, sharper this time, followed by the sound of laughter. The reckless boys were tearing down more signs, celebrating their mischief while a growing group of others began to challenge them from behind. An unseen division had taken place. What if this relentless cycle doesn't stop? Rose whispered, her eyes searching Lily's. What if it just continues to spiral until we're lost again? Before Lily could answer, Mr. Thompson returned, visibly frustrated but undeterred. "There's a lesson to be learned here," he announced gravely. "If we don't stop this, we'll lose any chance at moving on. I need your help. We need to show them the truth of who you really are." The sisters exchanged glances, hearts fluttering in their chests. Would they finally get the chance to tell their story? Or would the fight spiral deeper, tearing everything apart more than it had already been? As Lily prepared herself to speak again, her resolve quietly solidified. Maybe chaos had indeed risen again, but perhaps it was the beginning of a turn they desperately needed. Suddenly, a commotion erupted outside, pulling everyone's attention back to the window. The boys had begun to scatter, and in that moment, Lily caught a glimpse of something extraordinary happening beyond the glass. What had just changed? Would this be the moment when everything shifted once and for all? Lily pressed her forehead against the cool glass, searching the chaotic scene outside. The boys, caught off guard by whatever was unfolding, paused in their reckless destruction. The laughter faded, replaced by a whisper that moved through the crowd like wind stirring leaves. Outside, a dog, an enormous golden retriever with tail wagging and tongue lolling, bounded through the fray, a bright flash amid the shadows of anger. It chased after a discarded piece of the crumpled sign, oblivious to the tension, and the sheer innocence of the scene tugged at Lily's heart. Was that Max's dog, Coda? "Look!" Rose gasped, her eyes widening. She pointed outside, her earlier doubt now transformed into awe. "It's Coda." As Coda raced toward the boys, something remarkable happened. Their laughter stuttered and turned into hesitant giggles and confused expressions as the dog leaped and rolled in the grass, inviting them to play. For a brief moment, the anger that had caught fire began to flicker and die. Maybe we can still find our way back," Lily whispered, an ember of hope igniting within her. She turned to the gathering crowd, urgency tightening her voice. "This is what we need. Coda is pulling them away from hate. We can use this." In that instant, the atmosphere inside the hall shifted. People leaned towards the window, their faces drawn tight with concern beginning to soften. Mr. Thompson stepped forward, eyes glistening. "This is it. This love, this joy is what we can harness. Let us remind everyone what it means to be part of a community." Lily sensed that the tide was turning slowly. She took a deep breath before continuing. "If Coda can do this, then so can we. Let us heal together. Let us make this a moment of pride instead of shame." Small murmurs of agreement began to ripple through the crowd. Rose, emboldened by her sister's words, called out, "We can show them our story. Let them see that kindness is stronger than hate." "But how do we start?" Someone shouted from the back, still unsure. Lily's heart raced. This was their chance. We tell our truth together. Love can heal wounds deeper than words. Everyone has a story. Let us share ours and invite others to do the same. The crowd buzzed with energy, yet shadows still lingered in hesitant eyes. Lily and Rose reached for each other's hands, igniting their mutual strength. Coda, now hyperactively engaging the boys, stretched the line between division and connection. "Simon," Lily called. "Let us go outside and join Coda. If a dog can bond through joy, then so can we." Feeling the weight of glances shift from apprehension to excitement, the twins pushed through the hall's door, stepping into the warm glow of evening light. They moved toward the throng of boys and the dog, sensation surging through them like electric current. As they approached, Lily noticed something odd. Some of the boys were kneeling beside Coda, laughter spilling forth as the dog slapped his paws in gleeful energy. Faces that had once harbored resentment were beginning to soften, laughter unwinding the tightly wound knots of animosity. Lily stepped forward, her heart pounding with urgency to connect. "Hey! We're here to join the fun. Coda's the best, isn't he?" Their eyes met, and she could see a flicker of recognition. A boy stepped forward hesitantly. You're the twins." "Yes." Rose chimed in, "But we are so much more than just that. We want to share who we really are with all of you." Before they could say another word, Coda jolted straight up, darting toward a sideline where a new commotion arose. Lily followed his gaze, and just as dread curled in her stomach, she spotted someone approaching, someone she hadn't expected to see. What was Coda running to now? Lily wondered, her heart racing again at the sight. Would this newcomer be friend or foe in their quest for acceptance? Lily's heart sank as the figure stepped closer into the fading light. It was Max, his typical swagger replaced by an uncertain shuffle. She hadn't seen him since the incident that had left deep scars. The weight of unspoken words hung like heavy fog between them, and the laughter that had just started to thrum in the air seemed to stumble and fade into silence. Coda, blissfully unaware, bounded up to Max, barking and wagging his tail like the world's happiest dog. Max hesitated, looking down at the golden-furred creature, a flicker of warmth crossing his features. Yet this small spark of joy was quickly overshadowed by the restlessness of the situation surrounding them. "Hey," Max finally said, glancing up at Lily and Rose, his voice low and edged with an uncharacteristic vulnerability. "What is going on?" Suddenly, Lily found herself caught between the hope ignited by Coda and the familiar tension that surrounded Max. She remembered the laughter they once shared and the good times before everything got messy. We want to show everyone how kindness can bring us together," she replied, her voice wavering but steadfast. "We don't have to let hate define us." Max seemed to swallow this, his brow furrowed. "But how? How do you think we can go back to that?" Rose, ever the firebrand, stepped forward. "Max, it starts with you. Everyone here has been hurt, but we can choose to heal instead of hurting each other more." Silence wrapped around them like a blanket, thick with tension but also filled with potential. Some boys edged closer, drawn in by the conversation. The playground filled with a peculiar mix of fading resentment and renewed curiosity. "Coda reminds us of what really matters," Lily added, pointing at the dog rolling in the grass, welcoming everyone with his boundless energy. "If a dog can choose joy, then so can we." Max ran a hand through his messy hair, uncertainty dancing across his face. I don't know if it's that easy. I don't know how to change what has happened." Lily's heart ached for him. She could see the conflict warring within, the weight of expectation and the past bearing down on him. "It starts with a choice," she pressed gently. "All of us can choose something different. We can share our stories and find common ground." Max shifted uncomfortably as if her words were a stone he wasn't sure he could carry. "And what if no one wants to listen?" "Then we keep talking until they do," Rose asserted, courage strong in her voice. "We're not just twins, we're a part of this community." Let us show them that by embracing our scars, we can heal together. Lily noticed a handful of boys watching them, their expressions cautiously intrigued. Kota wove seamlessly among them, letting his warmth soften hardened hearts. Something shifted in the air, and Lily gripped Rose's hand tighter, willing the moment to flourish. "Come on," she called, her voice bubbling with encouragement. "Join us. Let us make this a celebration of who we can be together. There's no better moment than now. Let us bring joy back." As if perfectly timed, Kota bounced over to Max, nudging his hand with a wet nose. Max finally knelt, laughter escaping him as he scratched the dog behind the ears, a soft smile breaking through. The small crowd began to stir with life, laughter mixing with the cooling evening air. Just then, a girl stepped forward, a familiar face with a wary smile. I don't want to fight anymore," she said, her voice tremulous but sincere. "Maybe we can all try to talk." Lily felt the swell of hope surge, but just as their connection solidified, the shadows rematerialized, and a group of older teens loomed nearby, eyeing them with skepticism. Kota barked again, oblivious to the storm brewing. What if they just come to ruin this moment? Lily thought, unease creeping back into her heart. Could they stand strong together against what may come next? Their fight for acceptance had just begun. The tension crackled in the air, thick and palpable. As the group of older teens drew nearer, Lily felt her stomach twist into knots. They had an aura that hinted at trouble. She inhaled deeply, searching for the courage that seemed to flicker like the last rays of sunlight. "Just ignore them," Max murmured, standing up, a hint of defiance in his voice. But Lily could see the uncertainty in his eyes. It mirrored her own fears. Would their moment of growth be snuffed out like a candle in the wind? "Hey! What's happening here?" One of the older boys called out, his tone dripping with skepticism. He stepped forward, flanked by his friends who wore expressions that ranged from curiosity to outright disdain. "We're just talking." Rose piped up, lifting her chin. "You know, about kindness." The group exchanged glances, the laughter fading from their faces. Lily braced herself, ready for the dismissal, the mockery. She felt the warmth of Kota nestling against her leg, drawing strength from him. If we can just show them what we're doing, maybe things could change, she thought desperately. Kindness? Seriously? What are we, in kindergarten? The older boy scoffed, smirking at his friends. They chuckled, a sound that cut through the small gathering like a knife. Max stepped forward again, his shoulders squared. "We can all choose not to be jerks. It's not that hard." His words wavered, but there was a fire in his eyes. The older teens weren't expecting this rebuttal. The laughter paused. The curiosity shifted, if only slightly. "Yeah?" One of them replied, folding his arms. "And what's in it for us? What's so special about this, and who even wants to listen to you guys?" Lily exchanged a quick look with Rose, the fear shifting them into a symbiotic agreement. "Kota. Show them." Lily called, channeling her energy down into the lively golden furball. Kota bounced into action, darting playfully around the group, his tail a blur of excitement. He grabbed a stick and pranced back, dropping it at the feet of the older kids, inviting them to play. Slowly, one of the teens crouched down, curiosity piqued, reaching for the stick. "You think this is some kind of joke?" He muttered half-heartedly, but there was a softening in his demeanor. "Let us have fun," Rose urged. "That's how it starts. Just one small act of kindness like playing with a dog can break down walls." And then, to everyone's shock, the older boy picked up the stick and threw it. Kota bounded after it, and laughter erupted, a real kind of laughter that mingled with disbelief. They were laughing at a dog, but perhaps even more so, at the tension that had just lifted a little. Lily felt a swell of relief, but her heart raced. It was just a moment, fragile and fleeting, yet somehow transformative. "Okay, It's a start, Max said, his gaze flickering with hope. But what happens next? Can we keep this up? As Coda returned with the stick, a flicker of change sparked in the group's eyes. Playfulness filled the air, but an underlying question tugged at Lily's heart: was it enough? Could they really move forward together, from laughter to deeper conversations, and confront the scars that waited on the periphery? Maybe we start by talking about what has happened, Lily suggested quietly, the weight of vulnerability sinking in. The challenge hung in the air, electrifying and daunting. Would they be brave enough to dig deeper? As the laughter echoed through the cooling dusk, Lily held on to hope, but also wondered, if they opened up, what truths would be revealed? And what shadows might they have to confront together? The laughter still lingered in the air, weaving a delicate tapestry of hope. It felt so surreal. Just moments ago, the atmosphere was heavy, but now it buzzed with a sense of possibility. Lily felt her heart race as she looked at the older teens. Would they seize this chance? Talking can be tough, Max said, glancing around, his brow slightly furrowed. But it matters. One of the older boys leaned against a tree, his arms still crossed, but the smirk had faded. What do you know about tough? You're just kids. He shifted his weight, clearly torn between staying closed off and opening himself up to something real. We know that everyone struggles, Rose chimed in, her voice gathering strength. You might have a different story than we do, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Lily felt the weight of those words, how they hung in the air like an invitation. Coda stood nearby, tail wagging, sensing the shift and soaking in the energy. He looked back at Lily, as if to say, let them in. The older teens exchanged guarded glances. Lily caught bits of their conversation, the way their body language shifted, how their laughter faded into quiet curiosity. Just a small spark could ignite something meaningful. Okay, so what's your story? The older boy finally said, his voice hesitant, but there was a hint of intrigue. You really think it matters? It does, Lily assured him. This is about showing that kindness is worth it. Even when it feels impossible. She could feel the stakes rising. The moment was fragile, teetering on the edge of breakthrough or retreat. We've all had bad days, Max added, running a hand through his hair, a nervous gesture. It's okay to talk about it. It makes us human. Coda, too. He knelt by the dog, coaxing him closer. He's had his struggles, but he keeps giving love. Lily smiled at the way Coda nuzzled against Max. It was a reminder of resilience, the ability to love even after hardship. Would that warmth be enough to pull the older teens into the light? What about you? Rose asked, turning to the boy standing closest to her. I mean, everyone here has things they deal with. You can even share if you want to. The group seemed hesitant, the older boy's gaze dropped to the ground. Yeah, well, it's easier to laugh than to talk about it, why no? Lily nodded, knowing that was true. The laughter was like a shield, keeping vulnerability at bay. She took a deep breath, willing herself to push past her own fears. Sometimes that's true, but it doesn't always help. What if we could find a way to talk without judgment? A moment of silence fell, the world holding its breath around them. Coda, sensing the weight, looked from Lily to the others, his eyes shining with an unspoken promise of loyalty. Then, another boy in the group, a quiet one with dark hair, shifted. I lost my brother last year, he said, his voice barely more than a whisper. I don't talk about it. But it hurts. The air thickened with the rawness of his words. Lily's heart ached for him, but she could see that voice, the trembling honesty had started to crack the walls. Thank you for sharing, Max said gently. You're not alone in this. It matters that we're here. Let us talk. As the conversation began to weave between the two groups, Lily felt a sense of warmth building. It wasn't just about kindness, it was about connection. But as she looked at the faces around her, the vulnerability and the shared pain, she wondered if they could brave the shadows lurking beneath the surface. Could they open up enough to truly understand each other? The unease lingered as she thought about what they would face next. Would they be ready for the truths that came spilling out? Would they dare to face the scars that each of them carried? Coda, ever watchful, sensed the change. And at that moment, as the first few stories began tumbling over one another, Lily knew this was just the beginning. But what revelations lay ahead, waiting to be unearthed? Lily watched as the air turned thick with emotion. Each hesitant word shared tethered them together like thread on a loom, binding the two groups in a way she'd only hoped for. The pain of those stories seemed to dance in the space between them, flickering like the last rays of sunlight at dusk. The boy with dark hair, still staring at the ground, drew a deep breath. "You think sharing helps?" he asked, vulnerability lining his voice. "I've tried. It feels like I'm drowning." "Talking is hard, but holding it in can be worse," Max replied, meeting the boy's gaze with understanding. "I know it's scary. Sometimes it feels like the darkness just wants to swallow you whole." Lily felt her heart ache for him. She remembered nights spent battling her own shadows, wishing desperately for someone to reach out. "What if we could help each other?" she asked, conviction steadied in her voice. "Everyone here has faced their own battles. Maybe we can find light together." The older boy finally uncrossed his arms, his body language softening. "I guess we all have things we hide," he said, though the words felt more like a question. "I mean, no one really wants to talk about their pain, right?" "It's not about wanting to talk. It's about needing to," Rose said, her tone encouraging. "You don't have to carry it alone. That's why we're here." Just then, Coda broke through the tension, nudging the quiet boy's leg with his wet nose. The boy glanced down, and a small smile crept onto his face. It was amazing how that dog, just by being, could shift the atmosphere. The simple act of his presence reminded everyone that love didn't always need words. "I've never really had someone I could talk to," the boy admitted, his voice wavering. "Everyone thinks they need to be strong all the time. But I just want to scream sometimes. I want to be free of it." The word struck Lily like a hammer. She felt her throat tighten, aware of the bravery it took to say them. She thought of her own fears, how they often kept her paralyzed, locked in a cage of silence. But what if their collective voices created a key? "Then let us scream together," she said, a playful smile tugging at her lips, hoping to lighten the mood. "Not literally, but, you know what I mean." A few chuckles broke through the gathered silence, some tension dissipating like a morning fog. "I could go for a good scream," Max said, his smile reassuring. The quiet boy nodded slowly, the corners of his mouth twitching. "Okay, then. I guess we can give it a try." As the conversations grew more animated, stories unfurled like petals blooming after rain. Lily shared hers, how she struggled with feeling invisible and how Coda had nudged her into the light with his unwavering spirit. Each story echoed the struggles of the others, and in that echo, they found solace, but with each layer peeled back, Lily couldn't shake a sense of urgency. What else lay beneath the surface? Did they really know the depths of what each had been through? She saw flickers of pain in their eyes that hinted at far deeper scars than even she could imagine. Could they truly be brave enough to confront those shadows? As their laughter mingled with heartfelt confessions, it became clear that this spark of connection wasn't just an act of kindness, it was a launching pad. But as she glanced at each person's face, a chill crept over her. What other truths would they have to face? Would they be bold enough to confront the hidden wounds that had shaped their lives? Coda circled around, planting himself next to the dark-haired boy, embedding himself in the moment, a living testament to the healing power of love and companionship. And just as the laughter bubbled up again, a thought weighed heavy on Lily's mind. What if they reached a point where the laughter would turn into tears of a different kind? What if the truths they unearthed became the catalyst for real change? That question lingered, hanging in the air like the last note of a song, waiting to be resolved. The energy shifted subtly, like a breeze sweeping through the room. Lily could feel it as she glanced around at the faces around the fire. Laughter faded into silence, replaced by an unspoken anticipation. There was a rhythm to their breaths, a collective inhale as if they all sensed the same tidal wave of emotions tightening in their chests. "Okay. I'll go next," said the dark-haired boy, his voice tentatively breaking through the quiet. He straightened a little, the tension in his shoulders easing. "I guess I haven't told anyone this before." All eyes focused on him, the crackling fire illuminating his features. As he began to share, it felt like he was peeling back layers of his soul, raw and unfiltered. "My little sister," he paused, swallowing hard. "She passed away a few years ago. Everyone told me I had to be strong. I buried it deep inside, thinking that would help. But some days, I just feel like I'm lost without her." Silence wrapped around them like a thick blanket. Lily's heart raced. Those words held an ocean of grief, echoing off the walls. She felt tears prick her eyes, but she forced herself to listen, to stay present. The boy continued, "I never talked about it. I felt like if I did, I'd be letting everyone down. But it hurts so much sometimes. It's like carrying a weight I can never put down." Max leaned forward, his expression softened with empathy. "You're not alone in this. There's strength in sharing, and a strength in vulnerability," he said, his voice steady. "Exactly," Rose added, clasping her hands together. "Your sister wouldn't want you to carry that burden all by yourself." Lily felt the unbreakable bond they were forming, a group forged by shared pain and the relentless pursuit of healing. But there was a flickering question in her mind. What if unearthing these pains just opened up deeper wounds? As the boy spoke, Lily noticed the younger girl in the corner, her eyes wide and glistening. She was silent but intensely absorbing every word. Eventually, she piped up softly, "When my friend moved away, I thought I wouldn't be sad because I was supposed to be brave. But I miss her all the time. I feel so dumb for thinking it would just go away." Lily's chest tightened. The young girl had touched on something profound. "It's not dumb at all," Lily said gently, wanting to comfort her. "Missing someone you care about is real. It matters." "Yeah," the dark-haired boy added, nodding. "It's okay to feel. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human." The air thickened again, charged with shared laughter and tears. Coda, oblivious to the heaviness, sat up and cocked his head, making the group chuckle again. But Lily sensed that the comfort of laughter wouldn't last. They had opened a door, and with it, the shadows were peeking through. Just then, the older boy cleared his throat, his expression earnest. "There's another thing, something I've never said out loud." Lily leaned in, her heart racing. What would he reveal? What else lurked beneath the surface? With a mix of hope and dread, she waited, heart pounding. Each revelation felt like a step closer to something monumental, yet terrifying. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Would they find strength in these shared weights? Or would their laughter turn once again to tears, unearthing truths long buried? As they waited, the fire popped and crackled, the shadows flickering an eerie dance. Would they be prepared for the deeper, darker truths to come? As the evening sky deepened into a deep indigo, the air thick with emotion, Lily felt a pulse of urgency. She watched as the boy opened his mouth, ready to share something long kept hidden. The weight of silence hung heavy, and for a fleeting moment, time seemed to still. "I've always felt out of place," he began, his voice barely a whisper. "Like no matter where I go, I don't belong. My parents," he hesitated, taking a deep breath, as if the weight of the world rested on his shoulders. "They expect me to follow in my dad's footsteps. But I don't want to. I'm scared of disappointing them. It's like I'm stuck in a prison of their expectations." Lily's heart ached with understanding. So many had wrestled with the pressures of life, each binding them tighter in that invisible web. It resonated deep within her, reflecting the struggle of finding who you really are amidst the noise. "I feel that too," she said softly, her voice steady. "We spend so much time worrying about who we're supposed to be. But it's okay to want something different. It doesn't mean you're a failure." The boy's eyes brightened a fraction, just enough for Lily to believe they were crossing a threshold together. "Yeah. I just wish I could be brave enough to tell them." "Maybe we can show each other how to be brave," Rose chimed, a flicker of determination sparking in her blue eyes. "Let us promise to be each other's support." Laughter erupted from the group again, the innocence of Coda playfully pawing at anyone who came too close, trying to maintain an air of fun amidst the heaviness. But Lily sensed the change. The laughter lingered now, an echo of growing understanding. One by one, they began peeling back the layers. Stories began spilling out, real, raw, and unfiltered. Vulnerabilities exposed against the delicate backdrop of twilight. With every shared pain, a bond deepened. It coiled around them like the ethereal warmth of a familial embrace. Lily saw relief blossom in the older teen's eyes. "I felt like I had to carry everything solo. It's scary, but I'm glad you guys are doing this," he confessed. Max nodded, a reassuring glance shared between them. "We'll be here, always. This community is about standing together. And that's something we can choose to build." Lily felt the spirit of the words resonate throughout the circle. Love and understanding can conquer even the darkest shadows. She paused, letting those words settle in, hoping they would take root, but just as the atmosphere shifted to a place of warmth and safety, an unexpected chill snuck through the circle. The quiet girl in the corner looked down at her hands, visibly upset. "But what if it's too late for me to change? What if everyone just sees me differently? I don't want that." Lily felt her heart constrict. That echo of fear whispered truths unheard, truths every single one of them had grappled with at some point. "It's never too late," she said, her voice earnest. "You are always worthy of change, worthy of love. We all are. It's about how we embrace that journey together." Coda nudged the girl's leg gently, sensing her heartache, his comforting presence creating a safe harbor. The girl's lips quirked slightly, a small smile forming as she scratched the dog behind its ears. The mood shifted again, the air grew lighter as they laughed and shared, narratives intertwining seamlessly, like colorful threads coming together to weave a vibrant tapestry of growth. Tears too fell, puddling among joy and vulnerability, the essence of healing crystallizing in a newfound understanding. Then, something extraordinary unfolded. The older boy stood tall, the burden of his earlier secrets less dense now. "You guys, can we organize something? Like, a community day? A time to share our stories openly, a chance to connect?" Lily's heart soared. "Yes. Like a celebration of our journey. Let us be the change we want to see." "Yes." Rose echoed, excitement bubbling, hope flickered in everyone's eyes. They were rallying around a vision, a new chapter bridged by connection and understanding, with the plan sparking inspiration. Lily knew they had the chance to redefine what it meant to be a community. It wasn't just about confronting shadows but shining brightly alongside one another, illuminating the way through diversity and unity. As the moon rose high, blanketing the gathering in a silver glow, Lily looked around at the faces, the laughter, the shared tears, and the glimmer of hope, and felt a surge of joy. They were beginning to bridge the gulf of doubt and fear. Coda barked jubilantly, as if to signal the dawn of this new era. Lily's heart swelled, each beat resonating with the knowledge that they were no longer just bad kids but individuals striving to lift one another up. Transformation was real. Love was a choice. Healing was a journey. As the stars twinkled above, Lily took a determined step forward. "Let us make this happen. Let us open our arms wide and welcome everyone into this beginning." The crowd erupted in cheers, confirming what Lily knew deep down, that this was the moment of profound change. With a collective commitment to rising above their pasts and embracing the strength they found together, they began anew. The story of the twins and their connection with the community had reached its most pivotal and heartwarming chapter, with the promise of hope lighting the way into the future. Now is your chance to reflect on this incredible journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let everyone experience this transformation. Comment below about your feelings on this ending. We want to hear from you. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this journey of love and healing. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of backing this heartwarming project.